What's going on, people? As you see in the thumbnail, wherever that is, I don't see it on the screen. There it is. Got a couple things. The cars open up, right? So AEW, at some point they put out recently. At some point they put out their 2022 Metal Universe cards, right? So I'm curious to see how these things work out, right? So this is pretty much just like the standard pack that you can buy off the shelf at your local Target or whatever. That's where these came from, I'm pretty sure. And then this right here, this is the hobby box, right? So if you're familiar with buying cars or whatever, these they do come in a little pricier, right? So I want to say I paid 130 for this box, and like maybe 20-ish, 25 for this. But you're supposed to be able to get like more exclusive type things out of here, right? Like there's a higher chance. So it says like collect, Jambalaya, PMG, Skybox Premium. I don't know what any of that stuff means. I just know that I like their cards. Well, I have liked their cards in the past. So hopefully these are equally good, right? Or better. I would take better. I mean, as long as they're not worse, I guess there's not a problem, right? And I do also have, and I won't be doing them today, but I picked up some of the WWE Panini Select, right? Last time I did their cards, I did the Panini Prism, which supposedly is like the better version of the cards or whatever. But that's what the internet said. Sometimes I like to make my own opinion. Actually, all the time, I like to make my own opinion. So I bought a box. Well, I bought two boxes actually, and I will figure that out later and see like which ones do I like more, right? Uh, but I'm honestly leaning towards the other ones because like they looked really cool. They had like this holographic sort of thing going on. But either way, so this box has what 5 packs in it, and in each one there's 7. So what's that, 35? So it should be pretty quick, pretty painless. And then after this, I'll go through the hobby box one because why not save the big thing for last or whatever, right? I'm gonna break out the scissors this time because last time I was cutting into these things and it was or ripping them open with my hands and it was just taking forever, right? So this way should move a little quicker, perhaps, right? Because you don't want to cut the cards themselves or whatever. Tony Nese, I kind of forget that he even exists, which is unfortunate. Got the Blade, Jim Ross. So this one's blue. I don't know if that means anything, but I think it's a nice blue shade of blue, right? Match nice up with some Jordans I was talking about a little earlier. Got this gold Billy Gunn here. Got a Cash Wheeler. And as you can see, these kind of have like a nice little shiny sort of thing going on about them, right? I guess that's kind of like with the metal, because before the only metal cards that I had seen in the past were all just Marvel based, right? Because when I was younger, I don't remember the Marvel having a whole lot of the metal cards when I was younger, like in the bulk of my collecting or whatever. But at some point later on, they did, and I do remember seeing them later. You know what I'm saying? But when I first got started, because I'm a little older than some people who I think I am, I guess. But when I first got started was like the Series Two, I think. I think it was in like 5th grade, maybe when that happened. So Hook over here, got a Ruby Soho right there. Yeah, these do look actually like really good, and they do remind me a lot of the cars that I saw. I think it was maybe closer to like 9th grade or something when I started seeing them more of the metal ones. Britt Baker, that's a lot of these are actually like really nice looking. So the thing that sucks is like if you wanted to collect these, there's just so many different things going on. As far as like the different colors and all that stuff, right? So like, oh, Mario, nice. So like this Jim Ross card, I just had a Jim Ross card, but that one was blue, right? I personally am just like so used to having collected things as a youngster. It's like, okay, there's 200 cards in this set, right? You have everything from Ghost Rider to Black Panther to I don't know, Professor X, right? And then in those 200, you might have some that are like team cards, like might be like a Fantastic Four thing, or maybe something to go like the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. But now it's just so much stuff to deal with that collecting a full set, is this Sean Spears? Yeah, it is. Collecting a full set, I am not trying to do any part of that, right? Because you're just going to end up with a lot of the same cards with like different looking things or whatever. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk down on these or whatever. I do really like how they're coming out so far. But I just don't see myself buying into these to really make sure I get everything because it just seems like a lot. And so then we got Samoa Joe. I actually just had a Samoa Joe figure over here I was going to talk about because I forgot to talk about it in my live yesterday. What is this? Oh, Nick Jackson. Yeah, I was supposed to talk about a Samoa Joe figure yesterday in a live or whatever. Completely forgot. Then I was like, maybe I'll do it today, right? And, well, once again, I forgot. So I guess you're just never going to hear me talk about it. But I did at least put up a picture of it. So, there's that. Moving along. So, cute. Hold this the other way. QT Marshall, right? Try to get these so there's not a whole lot of glare and whatnot. And there's this. This is going to be John Moxley. I know it's not. Oh, what is that? Technicians. So, like this. I don't know what this means, right? I don't know if this is something unique or if it is sought after, but it's a technician's card. So there you have that. Wow, this thing is not at all trying to focus. It focused on the front side, not on the back side. So whatever. We have Scorpio Sky right here. And now making this box worth it, at least in my personal opinion, is this CM Punk card. So I am glad to see this because I get that like the guy has, a reputation that's like not great in everybody's minds. Yeah, this is just not focusing at all. But either way, I like the dude. I think he's been pretty entertaining. Kind of sucks the way things played out or whatever. But it is what it is. Life goes on. He'll be fine. Everybody's gonna be fine, right? So there's that. And now we have one more pack from that particular box. Not too shabby, right? Because I bought some other things that other cards. I think it was the last pack of Homegrown Kicks. What's going on, man? How's life in the dirty South treating you, right? I haven't been down there in some time. I used to spend a lot of time in Atlanta, largely because I lived there, but So now, got this. Ricky Starks, like the last figure that I got of his kind of looked like, what's his name? Namor, It was very weird to me. Have this right here. Looks like Matt Jackson, maybe? Yeah, Matt Jackson. Got the bunny. So there's that, right? Got a nice background there. Almost looks like an arena for a second. But yeah, I really do like these cards a lot, actually. So got a Kenny Omega. Oh, well, this is different. I don't know exactly what it is or whatever, but it's shaped all funny, kind of like a little razor sort of thing going on. That's Nyla Rose. She was actually here at a local wrestling thing like a couple weeks ago. Forget what I was doing, but I couldn't make it to it. And then we have this. This is going to be Ortiz, right? Ortiz. And then rounding things out, Brody King. The second time I'm opening a Brody King thing today, right? Because I just did my AW crate, whatever they call that, the All Elite crate. So yeah, there's the cards. All in all, I'm cool with it. Like, would I buy more? I would actually, because they look really nice. I wouldn't buy them to, again, go into like getting the whole set or whatever, because it's not that serious. But for what it is, man, much like those with the WWE Prism Panini, they just look really cool. So there is that. And this right here, I bought from Steel City Collectibles. They had a sale, and I guess they were running low on their stock or whatever, or at least that's what it said. And then that's how they get you, right? They're like, oh, we're almost out. So then I bought it. I'm like, well, I don't want to miss out, right? So it says up on the top here, hobby box, right, which is just kind of like I said, it's just the more exclusives kind of come out of here, right? Oh, that's interesting. It's got a nice little perforated thing going on. I don't know what all else, if there's some special way to open this box, whatever. It's actually the first one of these that I've ever had. I did buy a box of cards when I was younger. The Marvel Universe Series 3, no, Series 4. I bought Marvel Universe Series 4 as a hobby, not a hobby box, but just like a straight up box like you would normally see like at your stores and such. So here's a couple cards right there. And here's some more. And then this is going to be a lot to open. And then some more, right? So The other thing, and where did I put these? I don't know. There should be some differentiating factors, right? But the thing is, what's he saying? Busy, but who isn't? Yeah, that is very true. I don't like the idea of Cena back wrestling. Feels weird. He looks weird doing it. I'm all for it. I'm a John Cena fan. I don't know what happened. I was buying some of his action figures because they were coming with cool looks or whatever, and I ended up with some shirts. And like at some point, I have become a John Cena fan, and I'm gonna go see him in a movie later this week. I forget what the movie's called, but it looks mediocre. So over here, this is the one that just came out of the hobby box, right? So for the most part, the packs do look exactly the same. You just got to read the bottom or whatever. So if you see individual packs like this in a store, they'll likely be super cheap. If you see packs like this in a store, they will be more expensive. A friend of mine, we noticed that the other day when we were at the local card store here. So it's just one of those things that if you are a card buying person, you walk into a store and they're trying to get you for a lot of money for a single pack, that's probably why. You probably have a better chance of getting something that you want out of it. And it does say hobby at the top, right there over Scorpio Sky's box. All right. And then Vin59 says, it looks mediocre. See? Yeah, he knows. Or she, I'm not sure. But yeah, I saw it, and because, what is it? Five Nights at Freddy's comes out on Thursday. I mean, the movie actually releases on Friday, but around here, maybe at all theaters, I don't know. But the AMC, they'll put movies in on Thursday, so then you can go see it and, get to it a day early, right? So on Friday, I'll be seeing Five Nights at Freddy's because it'll be in the Dolby Cinema thing, all fancy looking. And then the next day, on the Friday, I'll see this mediocrity that John Cena has thrown at our faces. So, yeah, it should be okay, but like I'll put up a little short clip of me talking about it, after I see it. That's a shocker. I was gonna say, when did you actually become a Cena fan? Yeah, it just happened, because I never had anything against. Actually, you know what? 2016 or 17, him and Roman Reigns, Monday Night Raw, and he destroyed Mr. Reigns, and it was bad. And then in that moment, I was like, this John Cena guy, he's doing all right. But also at WrestleMania, when was Dallas? 32? WrestleMania 32. I'm sitting there, I'm like watching whatever happened, and I go to take a picture, and as soon as I hit like the button, John Cena's face comes out on the screen, and like he completely ruined the shot because like whatever was happening, I was like, oh, this could make for a decent picture. So now I have a picture that I don't like somewhere because John Cena ruined it. Either way, so this right here, Hangman Adam Page. So I am glad to have this one. Big fan of the Hangman, right? He's also something of a local hero in a way because he is from Virginia. And so moving along past that, also have here Daniel Bryan. If only this thing would focus a little bit more, but I get it. There's probably so much stuff going on with the actual car that camera just doesn't know what to do. It doesn't help that it's not the greatest camera either. Supposedly it is. It's got all these high reviews on Amazon, but whatever. Another Tony Nese card. That's how we started this whole thing. What is this? What's it? Bonzo Gonzo? I don't even know what that means. But that's what this says, Bonzo Gonzo, and it has Luchasaurus. So there's that, and it's a nice little funny shape to it. So will you and The Rock ever bury the hatchet? No. I like simple questions because like it's easy. Another Wardlow thing there. Riho, who I am not a fan of whatsoever. I don't know. It's just when you see this girl in the ring and she's like 3 feet tall and weighs like 16 pounds, it's like, how are you beating anybody, right? Like, it's just not believable. And I get that wrestling is kind of like not believable. That's kind of their whole gimmick, right? But come on, man. Like, the suspension of belief only goes so far. I think we all can agree to that. So when you're younger and you're watching like Papa Shango put some spell on the Ultimate Warrior or something, like it's a little different. But then later on in life, certain things like this, okay, we're drawing the line. Jade Cargill, right? Remember her? She used to be an AEW kind of gal. So there's that. Not anymore. Got Isaiah Cassidy. So here's that, right? And this is fancy. Look at that. You can kind of see through it. See that? See how like there's a little bit of me back there? Yeah. Reminds me of the suspended animations from, I don't remember what the series was, but when I was in 6th grade, one of the Marvel series started doing these suspended animation cards. I had this Hobgoblin that was freaking awesome. So there's that anyway. So you got Darby Allin, right? Won't quite focus because that's what this camera's been doing all night. But I do like this. It's very interesting. Got a little Anna J going on over here. The Scorpio Sky, right? Standard issue type things, you know. Orange Cassidy, another Britt Baker. So yeah, these are kind of cool. Like so far, I think, I mean, I've only opened 2 packs, but every pack has had something in it that has been interesting. So this, I mean, it's early to say, but this might end up being $130 well spent. So that's cool because I've wasted more on and got significantly less. So far, I'm feeling like I'm doing okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, it is, right? So got a little Daniel Garcia action going on over here. Mr. Mark Henry, met that guy last time I went to an AEW show. Or maybe it was the first time I went to one. I don't know. It all runs together. Got Sting, who's going to be retiring next year. Hopefully, like I'm able to make it to Revolution. I've never been like a big Sting guy, but I feel like that'd be like a cool thing to do. And I've never seen an AEW pay-per-view, so I could kill 2 birds at once or something. Wait, I was like, I don't know. I forget how that saying goes, but I know I didn't say it right. Either way, this is, what is it, Eddie Kingston? Oh, nice. And it's like a gold one. I don't know what that means, but it's gold, so there's that, right? I'll have to look some of this stuff up later. Another John Silver. I thought that was Daniel Bryan for a second. Opened up a Jim Ross earlier, and I opened up a Kenny Omega earlier. So, got a lot of packs left to go through, people. I'm going to have to get one of those little card things, those little plastic boxes that you put stuff in so they don't get all messed up, you know? Because so far I've just been like sitting the cards like on my desk. I'm like, well, I'll figure out where I'm going to put this later. Not the best way to go about it. I mean, it's not like I'm buying anything to go and get it graded or whatever, which is a thing that a friend of mine from work does sometimes, you know, if he gets something good because he buys the expensive boxes once in a while. Let's see. Yeah, Sting, like, the fact that he's still around is crazy to me because he's been around so long, you know what I mean? And he knows, like, what I'm guessing or whatever. It's like he's probably out there being in the ring and, oh, this is different. Got a Metal Universe card. It's Riho. It's a nice card, but of a person I don't like. So that's weird. But yeah, this is actually like kind of cool. It's got a weird texture to it. Got some stars and stuff going on behind her. But yeah, so I'd imagine he's like out there in the ring knowing that he's not performing at the same level he used to, and probably like not maybe mad at himself, but like kind of hating that he can't. And now he's probably just like, okay, I gotta go away before this gets like embarrassing or whatever. But the good side is that he's at least able to do it on his own terms, you know? Because a lot of us thought that he was never going to wrestle again after Seth freaking Rollins almost killed him with a turnbuckle powerbomb thing. Remember that? What was that? Night of Champions? I think that's what that pay-per-view was. Yeah, that was. I wasn't. Again, even though I'm not like a Sting guy, like I was kind of like, well, that's not good because I like Seth Rollins. I'm like, well, you don't want to be the guy that kills Sting. That's not cool. So what's this? Cesaro maybe? No, the Blade. Sometimes when I'm looking at a blurry picture because they're not focusing, you don't know what you're looking at. Got the bunny here. Another gold one. This time we have Kenny Omega, right? Canada's finest, or at least he's in the top 5, Because, you got Chris Jericho, you got Christian, right? Tegan and Sarah, they're Canadian. Silverstein is Canadian, right? There's a lot of good Canadian things going on. Nyla Rose again, right? Didn't care the first time, care a little bit less the second time. You got this, was that Anna Jay? Anna Jay came out dressed like Zartana once. I think that's the name. Little magician type looking lady or whatever from the DC universe. And yeah, Cody Rhodes drew attention to it. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, you know what? This Cody Rhodes guy is all right because he likes comic book things. And, I'm an easy to please guy. I am, right? Unless you watch my reviews, in which case you're thinking like, no, you tend to dislike a lot of stuff. That is true. I dislike things all the time. But I do like a fair amount of stuff too, right? I was just talking highly of a pair of Jordan 1s earlier today, right? doing a sneaker review. It's been a long time. I feel like I fumbled through that poorly, but whatever. It won't be seeing the light of day for a while. So by the time it happens, it'll be buried in between other things and nobody will even know. There we go with Will Hobbs, right? Met this guy in an elevator once. He seems like he has grown in every direction since then, which is weird. I don't think that that's actually possible. Let's see. The only thing I haven't liked about Sting's AEW run is all the no selling he does during his matches. Other than that, it's been a good run. Okay, yeah, that's a good point because he does that quite a bit. Like people are getting beat down, and then he's like, "I'm Sting. I'm going to turn the whole match around," and then he does, right? And he had a cinematic match, which was like in a warehouse or something a while ago. But yeah, I can't really complain. He's been going all in for his age. Another one of these Andre El Idolo's cards. Here's another one of Planet Metal, huh? Got a Planet Metal thing. So got Miro, right? I wish I knew what these things were. If you look on the side of the box, it usually tells you like a bunch of stuff about whatever's going on in there. Like, oh, there's going to be like 1 in 500 of these. I'll come back to it later if I remember. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff to keep up with. Got Penta. I ran into this guy kind of sort of like years ago at a Comic-Con thing. Huh. Okay, so the last card in there is CM Punk, right? So which is very cool. But one thing that was weird that caught my attention was you got two Brody Kings, the exact same Brody Kings in a row, right? So that's odd. Can't really say anything about it. It's not going to complain about it. I like the guy, right? It's just of all the cards to possibly get, to get the exact same two, like right there next to each other, it's just a little bit weird. Let's see. Cody Rhodes has more egos than most Americans change undergarments, but I like Cody. So I was okay with Cody, but at some point he got like a little annoying, and I'm not even sure how or why. I was just like, it just was. But then like he came to like this whole WWE thing, and like looking at him here, it's just like everything is just so super dramatic and over the top. It's like, look, I get that this is wrestling or whatever, sure, but like dial it back a notch, dude. Like, what is wrong with you? You're like some one man soap opera. This is a favorite right here because it's Gold Dust or Dustin Rhodes, whatever. But yeah, I'm like, dude, like, calm yourself down, okay? Not everything is oh so dramatic. It's like, oh, when I was 8, I knew exactly what I needed to do with my life. It's like, no, you didn't. Don't lie to me. Another technician's card. This is going to be Darby Allin. But yeah, so it's been weird. And like, they put all this stock in Cody Rhodes. And like, as much as I wanted someone else to be the champ and beat Roman Reigns, it was still hard for me to cheer for him when I saw when I went to WrestleMania last year. I was just like, I would like this to end, but I don't think I want it to end right now tonight. Moving along, we got a Keith Lee here. Jamie Hayter just opened one of her figures not too long ago. But now, like, he's just being forced down everybody's throats. Like, I go to like the Raws and the what do you call the local events? The house shows, the live events is what they call them. You go to those things, and he's there, and it's just like they're making like this huge deal out of it. I'm like, dude, like you haven't even really done anything here yet. You know what I'm saying? So either way, enough of that rant, I guess. I'll move on to something else. Let's talk about whoever the next card is, which is Ethan Page. Ethan Page, like I feel like something went wrong with this guy, right? Because when I was kind of getting into like spreading my like interest or whatever with like the other promotions, the North, which was Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, was apparently like a really good tag team, right? And I completely missed all of that. But people were just talking him up. And so then Ethan Page comes over to the AEW world, and I'm thinking, okay, now this is going to be something. Like he's going to come in here. I'm going to see what this guy's all about. And I mean, he's not like terrible. I don't look at the guy and think like this is a waste of time, but I don't look at the guy and think I want to see more either, which is unfortunate because I feel like he's better than he's been presented. And maybe if I paid a little bit more attention to, Rampage, I'd see a little bit more of him. But it's kind of one of those things where if something is giving you very little attention or very little reason to pay it attention, you're going to not really pay it attention, right? And that's kind of how Rampage has been. So it's unfortunate though, but they do have some winner matches every now and then on there from what I've seen. Another Hangman Page, that's always nice. Stokely Hathaway didn't run into him, but saw him after a show once. Like this was way before his. This was like 2018. It was the right, yeah, 2018 because it was WrestleMania in Louisiana. So the merch shirt here, I don't know what this is, but it's a merch thing. This is Orange Cassidy. What does this even mean? Like, can I redeem this for a shirt? Like, is it just a shirt shaped card? I don't get it. Tony Storm. So there's that. True, it did feel forced. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, I get the whole thing of, sometimes you have a person and you're like, oh, we want this guy to like be the next face of the company or whatever. Drew McIntyre was like that years ago, right? It didn't quite work out, but at the same time, also nobody hated it, right? But sometimes you just you can force things and it can be a little weird. You gotta let it happen organically sometimes, It's just better for everybody that way. I am a big fan of Shida, right? Hikaru Shida. She just won her women's title back not too long ago. Got Evan Bourne over here. I forget which one it was. It was a quarterly pickup video that I did maybe like a year and a half ago or something. I used a pretty long clip with Evan Bourne and Randy Orton in it. And then the video was all like, it had like a copyright thing, so it couldn't be watched in like certain countries or something. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it really affected the overall views or whatever. But it's one of those things. They send you these notices like, oh, your video can't be viewed in Indonesia and certain parts of China. And I'm like, okay, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Sometimes like I know that I'm using a clip that's too long and it's going to have that happen, but it goes so well with the video that I just don't care. Because it's like, if I was in this to make money, the YouTube thing, I'd probably be talking about something more interesting than this. I'd be spending money on, shoes that people will want to hear about, getting them all early and stuff, doing those on feet reviews real early like. But no, I have an actual job that, I go to every day, and that's how I make money. I do this as a hobby when I have the free time, which I do today, right? Because I didn't go to the gym or whatever. Let's stop and check up on the comments, huh? Let's see. Generally, it's never as good as the word of mouth. Also, the wrestling world plays the favoritism game heavy. I mean, doesn't everybody though, right? So, I mean, I can't give any examples of anything else because I only watch wrestling. It's like today at work, like this guy sat down at the computer next to me because he was going to start doing whatever. He's like, oh, you follow any football teams? I'm like, no, I don't. And then there was like this like silence because like, I'm thinking like, well, I guess that's all he had to talk about, Eventually, he did start asking me about some stuff because I'm not good for any sports talk, but like technical knowledge, I got that for sure. But either way, so this right here, you got Taz moving along, Kip Sabian. Wait a second, I stopped a little too early. What do you think about them only make 5,000 bunny figures? Not sure how I'm supposed to get it. I definitely need to pair with. That is a poor choice. I mean, I get making certain things limited, but that one, I mean, 5,000 is a fair amount, so like it may not be too bad because I have so to put things in some kind of perspective, right? Last year at Comic-Con, they had Brody Lee. This year they had Sting, right? And I think those were 1 of 1,000, right? And that was not difficult to get. So maybe like 1 of 5,000 will be fairly easy. But I also wonder, like, are people going to like buy? Because I don't think most people want it. I feel like a lot of people are going to buy it just to resell it, right? Whereas if they did it on like Shop AEW, I feel like much like the Jade Cargill or the Hangman Page, it would just kind of hang out. So I'm waiting for some more details, but just off the surface, I'm not on board with it. And I will say also, when I first started reading that, I thought you were talking about like Bad Bunny figures, and I'm like, I haven't even heard anything about a Bad Bunny figure. Who is this? Jamie Hayter or something? No, Thunder Rosa. Nice. She's got the face paint and stuff. So I spent some money on a Thunder Rosa Chase figure. It was like $70, right? But I really liked the figure and stuff. Another CM Punk, so that's cool. Maybe I'll put this on my little CM Punk poster. MJF. And let's see. So who's that? Oh, Anthony Agogo. He had some kind of thing going on with Cody Rhodes, I think, for a while. But and once again, like these are at least different, but two MJF figures or two MJF cards, right? One's blue, got different poses or whatever. But that's again why I see no reason whatsoever to go and collect this whole set. But yeah, like I think that she should have been just a plain standard figure, like everybody else, like Matt Hardy or Nick Jackson. Just throw her out there. Let the people that want it get it, right? And let that be that. It's kind of like when they made in the first wave. What's her name? Cody's wife, whatever her name is. She was like, I didn't hear anything about it beforehand, but she was like a limited edition. Well, not limited edition, but she was super limited, right? Like, why? Of all people, Brandy Rhodes? Because, like, nobody's going to pay a lot of money for that. If you said, oh, there's a super limited John Moxley, some people will dig into their pockets for that. Hangman Page? Maybe not as many, but some, sure, still. But yeah, they do some weird things. They certainly do. Ty Mello, right? Okay, got a Lance Archer figure. I keep saying that. Lance Archer card. A gold Ortiz. For the longest time, like I could not remember the names Ortiz or Santana. Didn't know who was who. Luckily, Santana went away for like a year and a half or something, and that gave me time to really focus on Ortiz and remember Ortiz is the guy that wore the little toe shoes. Remember like the Vibrams, the shoes were like they look like gloves for your feet. Ridiculous, but he was all into them, and I think it's that figure right. Yeah, that figure over there has those shoes on. It's weird, but it's a really good figure. It's probably one of the better ones in the first 6 waves of AEW figures. Got a Malachi Black. I'm curious to see like what they do with him in the future, because I mean he's got the whole House of Black thing, but he's got to become like a solo champion at some point. Got one of the Gun Kids here, and then old Chuck Taylor, right? So there's that. And at some point, I'm probably going to do one of these similar lives and open up some AEW figures because, for one, I need to get them out of the boxes so I can put them on that shelf in there. And two, that'll give me something to talk about, because some people do like to see the action figure reviews. Doing those is freaking rough, though, honestly. Like, as an actual straight up video, doing it as a live won't be so bad. But, everybody holds themselves to a certain standard when it comes to, like, the work you put into things. And the work I put into, like, the actual videos, it's a lot. It is. And something like that, it's not fun. I do like the finished product. It's just getting there is hellacious. So there's this. This is going to be Adam Cole, right? And then we have Angelo Parker. So there's that guy. Like when they were 2.0 on NXT, I was like, oh, this is mildly entertaining. And then they were just immediately gone like the next day. It was weird. Eddie Kingston, the current Ring of Honor and never strongweight champion or whatever that thing is called, got a technician's thing, and this is Wardlow, which is weird because when I saw the first technician's card that I got today, it was Daniel Garcia, and I said, oh, okay, this is going to be like some of the more wrestlers, right? And then it went to Darby Allin, and it was like, okay, maybe not so much. And now it's on Wardlow. I'm like, okay, so you guys just call anybody a technician. I get it. I see what you're doing. And then you have Sting. We were just talking about him a little while ago. But I don't know where Revolution is going to be. But wherever it is, I'm going to try to be there if it's not like crazy far out of the way. And hopefully it's somewhere where I know somebody. So then I can I'll be like, hey, man, I'm going to this thing. I'll get you an extra ticket if you want to come. So then I can at least sit there and talk to somebody while the event is happening. Don't get me wrong. I've been to many wrestling events by myself. And I am completely fine doing that. I went to not my first WrestleMania, but in 2015, 16, and 2015 and 16, went to those by myself. In 2015, I went to Royal Rumble and what was the other thing? Survivor Series. Sometimes you just go by yourself. So it's still fun, It's just when you have someone there, you can just kind of talk about whatever's going on. Got a Luchasaurus going on over there. Dante Martin. Kind of wonder when this guy's going to be back because he's been out for a while. after he like broke his foot in half jumping off a ladder or something. And it's crazy because like when you see these big ladder matches, like you know they're gonna go all in. It's like, oh, it's a ladder match. Like we got the Hardy Boys and we've got the Young Bucks and we've got, what was his name? Top Flight. He's like, okay, so somebody is going to possibly die tonight. Got it. But all in the name of entertainment. And they do all this crazy stuff, right? And then you don't remember any of it because it's just like car crash after car crash, as people describe it. And so then like the match is over and these people have like practically killed themselves, and all you remember is like, oh yeah, didn't so and so win that one? I forget who else was in it, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. You don't remember anything. And then we have this turn up the heat. What does that even mean? I mean, it's got a little fiery sort of flame thing action going on. So there's that piece, right? Got Penelope Ford, who, you know, sometimes I look at some of these people and I'm like, huh, surprised they're still around because she hasn't really done much of anything. But she must not be angering anybody, and she's doing her part, I guess. Then you have Athena. I kind of forgot that she was actually an AEW person. I keep thinking she's like Ring of Honor because she's more associated with that. And then here we have Buddy Matthews. So now we're down to the last pack here, which is cool because I feel like I've been sitting here talking forever. And for one, I would like to go and get something to eat. And two, I feel like I've just been talking forever, you know? Probably because I did 2 reviews. One, remember these thing, and now I'm doing this. So this is like actually my 4th thing sitting down here and talking about whatever. So kind of ready to stop. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I spend most of the day doing nothing but just kind of sitting here like focused as I'm like doing work. And then I come here, it's like ramble on and on for hours. So then we have this here. So that's going to be another John Silver card. Yeah, I like Red Velvet. She's been pretty all right. At first, I was like, what is this? What are you? Is this another person you're trying to force on me? Because they had her out there with Brandy, and Brandy was like really pushing her all hard and stuff. And I'm like, you're already on the borderline here. So, but actually, like the Red Velvet thing ended up working out. She's entertaining. So we got the Bonzo Gonzo again with Lee Moriarty. What is this? This is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these things. Hey, it's a blue Hangman Page card. So I do like that. I like the blue. I don't know anything else about it, right? Got this right here. Does anybody know the name of the band that this guy plays in and what instrument he plays? I've heard bass, then I heard guitar. I'm not really sure. But I know it's a band that I feel like I've seen before, honestly. So there's this right here. Got a Billy Gunn. Oh, this is a winner right here. Closing things out with Serena Deeb. I didn't realize it until recently, but she was the bald girl that used to hang out with CM Punk back in like 2010 when I went to my first WrestleMania. I remember she was there, but she was like the straight edge society, you know? So yeah. And she's like really good. Like the FTR guys are often talking her up. Any Hasbro purchases? No, these are all action figure. These are all cards, dude. But if you want to see a Hasbro figure, I put the timestamps in the live that I did last night. There was a Hasbro purchase in there. Actually, there were multiple Hasbro purchases in there. There was one that came straight from Hasbro Pulse, and then the others were just Hasbro things. Some came from eBay, some came from Target, I guess. But yeah. So I did do that, and see, that's me doing that whole like, oh, promote your content thing, right? But even though I do not normally like doing that, that's why I put the timestamps in things, because like I know people often click on a particular video for a particular thing, right? And I want to make it easy. Like if you're only here to see like this Gambit figure, here it is, 25 minutes and 30 seconds. Click on that, watch what you want to watch, and then go on about your day, you know? Do it for you. Also, it's because I was once in that position, and it was many moons ago, back when I used to watch other YouTube people, right? Like big name people. And I was looking through Seth Fowler videos because I needed to find something he had said about whatever the shoe was. I'm watching it, and then I was, oh, maybe it was in this one. And I just had to sit there and just take it. You know what I'm saying? And so it would have been nice if he had said like, oh, at this point is when I talk about this. So moving on into the future, when I started doing this for myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put some timestamps in here. Initially, YouTube didn't let you just put the timestamps in there, the chapter markers. So I just kind of throw it on the screen. But then later on, they adjusted that. And so now I can just put it all in there. And it's a thing that I always do right there after the hashtags. So that being that, that's everything. Went through this here hobby box, which was actually pretty cool. I like the way these cards look. I got a lot of things that I like. But what I was going to say, and that nobody's going to read that because you can't read that. But basically, yeah, almost all of this from like the middle part up is all talking about how many things there are of whatever. It's like non-autographed cards that are up to 25 or higher. Like you get 1 out of 20 for every base set of red PNG parallels, and those are numbered to 100, and then 11 to 100 or something. Like it gives you all these breakdowns of what the ratios are. It's like, oh, technicians, 1 out of 8, Bonzo Gonzo, 1 out of 10, Mark merch, 1 out of 10, right? So surprisingly, I didn't get anything that was actually autographed or whatever, because I would have thought that would have happened. But I got enough stuff in here. I'm probably gonna look on eBay or something to see if this stuff actually means anything, because I am a little bit curious. Not that I'm looking to sell it or whatever. It's just you get curious of stuff, Like once my dad we were walking around and like my mom was walking around in some shoes I just bought or whatever. And he's like, yeah, those are some cool shoes that you got, mom, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, check this out, right? And I showed him like the price on like StockX. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, I mean, I didn't pay that because, I don't go over retail for shoes. But yeah, he didn't realize how much some people were willing to spend for some footwear, But hey, it is what it is. Everybody's got different priorities for their money and how much disposable income you have or whatever. So there we go. Before I go closing this out, this is the part where I ask if anybody has any questions. They don't have to necessarily be about wrestling or cards or whatever. Any topic is fair game. It's just that this is the only time when I can actually like address the populace in an easy way. Otherwise, I have to type stuff, and I don't like typing stuff, honestly. So I put this question out there now. So if you got some stuff you want to ask me, I'll answer it before I go ahead and part ways. So now that I put that out there, I feel like I said that long enough to let it get out there and marinate amongst the crowd. People can think about whatever they have to say and start typing away on it, right? While I do this thing that I always do at the end of videos. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I finished recording some things today. The shoe video, who knows when that's going to be out, because I still have, I want to say, I probably have about 13-ish shoe-related videos to still record, reviews or whatever. I've done a good 15-ish, maybe something like that. So those won't be out for a while because, I like to release things in the order in which I bought them. And the first shoe that I bought, of the ones left to do, I still haven't done that review yet, which is weird. I've done like all the more recent ones except for the first half. So that'll be out eventually. The AEW crate, I missed my window for taking pictures today because when I sat down to do this review, I realized that the shoes weren't laced, right? Because they're Jordan 1s. So I lost a lot of daylight doing that because I am super picky and meticulous when it comes to lacing shoes, which is why I don't like relacing them. So there is that. But either way, that being that, and also this weekend, you'll see me doing my, remember these things? They're super old, that video. You'll be seeing one of those every week for about a year, and well, for 50 weeks, more or less. So the plan is to do 50, possibly 52, because why not knock off a whole year? But we'll see what happens. Either way, that'll be a thing happening. Let's see what's going on over here. If you remember, from time to time, I'll go down these self-destructive brand purchases. Wait, what? I don't understand that statement. Well, I did it again on G.I. Joe. Oh, okay. There's a two-part thing there. I was just reading at it as a standalone thing. Yeah, what, a shoe video? Oh, I'm guessing he's meaning like, what? A shoe video? I'm guessing that's how you meant it, right? Yeah, I still do those from time to time, just not a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Soon enough, I'll get this channel back on track. But honestly, like, I could have been way done with everything, because if anybody was watching me before September of 2022, I was like all over the video things, like just left and right, just throwing them out all the time. Normal production value for everything, right? But then I took a break, and then I was like, yeah, who really even cares about this, right? So now I just do it whenever I'm not busy wanting to watch wrestling or playing Spider-Man or whatever, you know? So it is what it is, but I get that people still seem to care about the stuff because I still see my analytics. People are still tuning in on a daily basis, watching a lot of stuff. So apparently, there's still people that care to listen to me. I mean, the subscriber count still goes up despite me putting very little effort into anything right now. So maybe when I start putting actual effort back in, everything will start coming back together and I'll start getting paid decently again for this. So that'd be something because right now I get paid mostly nothing, right? Because for one, shorts, the payoff is like non existent. And then when it comes to lives, people watch the lives, right? But I don't put ads on the lives because I feel like it's like not real content, honestly. So it doesn't get all the normal pizzazz and stuff. So I'm like, no, no ads on the lives. So anything if I do get paid for anything, it's usually people watching the older stuff, which is only relevant whenever Adidas brings out more Yeezys or something, which hasn't happened in like a month or two. So there is that. But either way, I think I've covered everything and a bunch of stuff that nobody asked for. So, oh yeah, you're a machine making videos. Yeah, exactly. It's like when I want to do it, like I will go all in. I can sit here and record 3 videos start to finish everything like from the time I like open the box to the time I'm hitting publish on the internet. It takes about like 6 hours per video, honestly, like with all the stuff, but some things you can do simultaneously, sure. But yeah, I've had some days where I've gone all in just to like make a point. Last one being that Vapor 2023 video. It was a rough day. It really was. But either way, enough of my like rambling and whatnot. Please go find something else to do with your day that is not listening to me ramble about things that you don't really care about and don't matter at all. There's probably something else to do, right? Raw's coming on in about 42 minutes, so there's that, right? I have YouTube Premium. I also have YouTube Premium, so I don't see the ads. The only time I see ads is when I watch like certain things in like the incognito thing because I don't want it thrown off my recommendations. Like if I want to see something about like these bicycles that they're selling over at like the Trek store, it's like I don't want a bunch of bike reviews flooding my thing. I just want to know about this one. You know what I'm saying? So times like that, I might have to sit through an ad. But if it's something I subscribe to, you know, which is very few things nowadays, then yeah, I get to watch it ad free, which is fantastic. So there we go. I've said all the stuff in the beginning that I needed to say before this long rant. And now we are approaching the 50-minute mark, which is way longer than this video needed to be. So I'm going to click this little end stream button in a second here. But first, I would like to say thank you for stopping in. It's greatly appreciated. But please, again, there are better things to do with your day. So go forth, do those things. I'll catch up with you at some point in the future, maybe even in the past. Who knows?